Hello fellow DraftKingers and fan duelers. In this video we will be focusing on cheap plays and also my favorite GPP picks. Hit me up on Snapchat, Hussein the Brain, or follow me on social media at Fantasy Couch. Here are my DFS NFL picks for week 14. At the end of this video, I will be giving away 5 Fantasy Couch t-shirts, so make sure you stay tuned. Also, if it's your first time on this channel and you love waiver wire pickups, you love DFS videos, and the best fantasy football live streams, I highly recommend you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you won't miss anything. Now on to the picks. My favorite quarterback this week is Matt Ryan, considering the price and everything, He is much more expensive on FanDuel, so I suspect not too many people will be picking him. He's very expensive on FanDuel and very cheap on DraftKings, only $5,600. Going against Green Bay, the Falcons haven't been able to run this year. Green Bay's run defense is okay, not good, but not bad either. So Matt Ryan will need to throw the ball. I see him having great success. A lot of people are down on Matt Ryan. He's been in a tiny slump as of late, but really what it comes down to is his last game. Recency bias again. 8 fantasy points his last game, but before that he's actually been doing pretty well. And going against the Packers, I see Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones doing well, and the Falcons will need to throw the ball. Could be a high scoring game. Also, the Packers are favored to win. I do want to give you guys some other options though, but really he's my favorite guy in any format, cash or GPP. I like Patrick Mahomes in GPP because he's very expensive, but right next to him, what is it going to say? Red. It's red, and it says that the Ravens have the second best defense when going up against quarterbacks. They don't allow a lot of points to opposing quarterbacks, so people will stay off of him. He won't be contrarian, but he'll be more contrarian than usual. Really quickly, other options include Drew Brees at 6,600. I see him bouncing back. Jameis Winston at 6,200. In that same game, going up against the Saints, will be a high-scoring shootout. And it's a little bit of rain. Some people get scared of the rain, but you know who's not scared of the rain? Football players. It statistically does not affect the game that much. And like I said, it's light rain. It's not heavy rain. It's not extreme weather conditions. The weather conditions we always look out for is heavy, strong winds, and that's not the case in this game. Can Aaron Rodgers finally have a good game, guys? 6,000. I don't know. Price is okay. He should be good, but just another option. It's in that same game, in the Falcons game. You see, we're targeting a lot of the same games. And finally, I like Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I'll probably be avoiding Josh Allen. I don't think he can do it. Best quarterback last 2 weeks, folks, has been Josh Allen. Don't think he'll be the best quarterback this week again. But Lamar Jackson, 5,700, pretty good here. I guess there's a slight chance Joe Flacco plays a little bit. You know, it's always a mystery with these guys. Will RG3 play? Will Lamar Jackson play? Will Joe Flacco play? Who knows what's going on here? My guess is Lamar Jackson will play the entire game. And there's a bit of a mystery here, a bit of an unknown. Lamar Jackson will likely need to throw the ball in the second half because the Chiefs will put up points. Will he be able to do it? I don't know. Will the Ravens pull off an upset? It's definitely possible. The Chiefs are only favored to win by 6.5 points. I see the Ravens D playing very well, shutting down the run, shutting down Spencer Ware. No Kareem Hunt for the Chiefs anymore. And will the Baltimore Ravens take a page out of the New England Patriots playbook and do what they did to Kelsey and just hit him every play, jam him at the line, dedicate one player to just hit him every time the play starts? I think that will work. Sure, you might risk Tyreek Hill getting loose, but who knows? Like, I think that's the game plan, and the Ravens have a very sound defense. They have no holes. I think that's the game plan, and I think they'd be silly not to use that. Look, take out Kelsey out the equation. Watkins out. Kareem Hunt, he's a free agent. He's not on any team anymore. Focus on Kelsey. Let Tyreek Hill do his thing. Try to contain him. And I think that's the winning formula, guys, for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's still very cheap. You know me, I like targeting quarterbacks going against the Chiefs. And I didn't think Derek Carr would do anything last week, but he actually was really good when he did go up against the Chiefs. Moving on to running backs, let's do a little bit different. Let's just scroll down to the cheap options. At 4,500 on the same team, the Ravens, we have Gus Edwards. I like him going against the Chiefs. Chiefs are a bad defense. Only knock on this guy is that maybe the Ravens do get behind, and Gus Edwards, does he even have one catch this year? 0 targets, 0 targets. Only 1 target the entire season and 1 catch. So he's not a pass catching back, safe to say that. He is a great rusher, though. And Alex Collins is out. He's on IR. So my next guy, naturally, would be Ty Montgomery at 4,000. This is strictly in GPP formats. It's a silly pick, but maybe he does get some run if they are behind 2 touchdowns. Look at this. 7 targets, 5 receptions last game against the Falcons. So, like I said, it's a bit silly, a bit unlikely, but it will be a contrarian pick for sure. Cheap options, these guys I absolutely love. I think Jeff Wilson has a decent upside, very good floor. They will use him a lot. He is starting for the 49ers. He will get targets. He's good in the pass game. He's good at rushing. We know that Matt Breida is out, and Alfred Morris has been a healthy scratch the last few weeks, so he'll probably play, but probably won't be that involved. It's a Jeff Wilson game, and it won't get too out of hand either. The Niners got a shot at winning this with no Demaryius Thomas, and now no Emmanuel Sanders, who's out for the season. Lots of good quality cheap options at running back, and that's how you'll be able to save and spend up on other positions. Also, there is Justin Jackson, and this one required a lot of brain power for me, a lot of thinking. Wait, I have him 3,800, that's right. 3,800 going against the Bengals. Eckler's supposed to start, Eckler this, Eckler that. I think Eckler will get a good amount of snaps, maybe 40%, 50%, maybe even more than that. But I think Justin Jackson is the running back to start. I absolutely love his upside, and I'm just going through my head. I cannot see a realistic, common sense scenario where Justin Jackson does not perform. How would that be possible? Like, I'm trying to work it out. Like, I always think of the flip side of the coin. Like, I think the Chiefs would win, but I wanted to talk about how the Ravens could win, possibly. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but I want to think of the other side. How is Justin Jackson going to have a bad game? Melvin Gordon is expected to be out, so let's assume that happens. How would he have a bad game? He's looked much better than Eckler. He's a great rusher. He's fresh. The matchup is there going against the Bengals, not a good defense, and the game script is there. The Chargers should easily win this game. I think it's this. There's 2 games that are slated to be blowouts. I think it's the Steelers and the Chargers. They're gonna win by 2 touchdowns. No AJ Green. No Andy Dalton. Bengals D sucks. This is a Justin Jackson game script, and sometimes you just got to go with your gut. Sometimes it's not just upside, just safety, just the price. By the way, the price is right, though. 3,800, guys, going against the Bengals. Probably my favorite running back, period, in the main slate. Like, that's how much I like Justin Jackson. Okay. Now back to talking about DFS terms, right? We gotta be grounded here. There is risk here, obviously, with Eckler, but for this price, I think you can afford the risk. It makes sense, right? 3,800, super cheap. I'm putting him in my lineups. That's all I gotta say. I absolutely love Justin Jackson. Who else we got? Jalen Samuels, 3,700. Full PPR, pretty good going against the Raiders. Stephen Ridley has been overlooked, and I had him ranked really high on my waiver pickups because he didn't have the hype, and last game, so week 13, Jalen Samuels got some run, but I believe the Steelers were down at that point when Connor was injured. And if they weren't down, it was a game. Like, the game opened up. It wasn't like in the beginning the Steelers were dominating and nobody was scoring a lot of points. And then the game opened up. There was a lot of scoring and the Chargers started scoring really fast. So it was more of a game script for Samuels. This game against the Raiders, the game script will favor Stephen Ridley. I see this being about a 50-50 split, though. Like, I'm not down on Samuels. I'm just saying Stephen Ridley at... Dude, this is minimum price here, basically. I can't even find him. Where is he? Stephen Ridley, 3,300 going against the Raiders. I see him being more as a goal line back. Short yardage back, 3,300. Man, that's super cheap. An incredible punt. I mean, all these guys are basically punts. Wilson, Jackson, Samuels, and Ridley. Just wanted to give you guys some other options. There's plenty of options. But just really quick, 6,300. Philip Lindsay. I probably actually liked him a little bit better with Samuels. He will get a couple more carries and targets, sure. But his efficiency may go down a little bit too. That's just theoretically. I say his value remains about the same with Sanders out. He's really good, 6,300. In season long, how could you bench him? And in DFS, I like him, but there are cheaper options. One of my favorite running backs that's expensive is Kamara. Hasn't been as good the last couple games. But look, actually, like, let's look at this. Yeah, 15 fantasy points, 10, 17, and before that he's been great. I think he gets back on track here going against the Bucks. What did he do against the Bucks week 1? 46 fantasy points. Not so bad. Let's see what he does this week. I think he's going to be overlooked because, again, what did I say? Recency bias, 8,100, man. That's super cheap, and we all play PPR. Moving on to wide receivers. My two favorite elite wide receivers or expensive wide receivers are Julio Jones and at 7,900 in that Packers game, and DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, been a while since this guy's been the beast, like a top 3 wide receiver in a week, and I see this game getting back on track. I think he can do it. Going against the Colts could be a little bit of a shootout. I like Andrew Luck. I like Deshaun Watson, and Hopkins, pretty good ceiling, very good floor. I like him in both formats. A couple guys I want to talk about are Godwin versus Humphreys, and truth be it that I can't really tell you which one's better. When I came out with my waiver wire video, I said that I really like Godwin now that Deshaun Jackson is out, but Humphreys playing in the slot going against PJ Williams of the Saints, that's a great matchup for Humphreys. But who knows who's going to go off. Both priced at 4,900. I like both of them, man. They should both have pretty good matchups. What could they do? Maybe they double Mike Evans, put Eli Manning on Mike Evans and double him. I think they'll put Marshawn Lattimore on Mike Evans. Maybe they double Godwin. They'll probably change it every play. Who knows? I don't think Adam Humphries is the guy to double. I guess I'd go with Humphries. I like Humphries more than Godwin, but both are amazing in this matchup going against the Saints. And as I said before, I do like Jameis Winston. A lot of the same games, right? We're always targeting the same games. Traquan Smith, again, I like him in GPPs. He is a true boomer bust player. Look at this. 0 fantasy points, 34 fantasy points, 0 fantasy points, 10 fantasy points, 4, 7, 29, 0. Like, this is so boomer bust. I don't know if I've seen anything like this. He's so boomer bust. Price 4,500 going against the Bucks. And what do we have here? We have the ultimate chalk, Courtland Sutton. He'll be picked in a lot of cash games. I'll be avoiding him in most of my GPPs. I haven't decided yet. I might have him in some of my GPP lineups, but I won't have him in most because he will be chalk. He is a wide receiver. There's a good chance he doesn't do well. I think he's talented. I think he has upside, but I think he's more like Golladay when Golladay was a rookie. Now Galladay's a really good wide receiver. So I think Sutton will be a good wide receiver next year. Maybe in 2 years he'll be great. But this year he's really not that reliable of a receiver. Not that great. I know Emmanuel Sanders is out. He will get a lot of targets. Just saying there could be better wide receivers. There probably will be. Love him in cash games. Not so much in GPP. The ownership will be way too high for me. Some more options. Mike Williams, I think he's priced too cheap. Averaging, what, 9.8 fantasy points per game and priced at 3,900. I don't know, that's pretty cheap, man. Like you see Callaway, same price, averaging 8.3, and a good matchup too. If you double Keenan Allen, if you focus on stopping the run game, then Mike Williams could be open for some touchdowns. That's also why I like him too. He has that touchdown potential, that tall frame. He can get it done. Bruce Ellington's usage has been insane. And with that Q next to him, I expect him to play. But with that questionable tag, he'll be even less owned, priced at 3,800. Look at this. 10 targets last game. The game before that, 7. Before that, 9. He's got an insane amount of targets. That's dang near 9 targets per game the last 3 weeks. So I like him. Price is right. 3,800. Going against the Cardinals, and Patrick Peterson should be shadowing Kenny Golladay, or at least defending him most of the time. Bruce Ellington will likely be playing from the slot. A couple super duper sleepers slash punts. We have Isaiah McKenzie. I'm going to have to search this. We're getting deep here, so it's going to take me a while to find it. Isaiah McKenzie, Buffalo Bills wide receiver. Kelvin Benjamin's out of there. He's on the Chiefs now. And Isaiah McKenzie is a starting wide receiver. He has a questionable tag. Nobody really knows who this guy is, but he'll be getting a lot more targets. He's actually pretty talented. I haven't really heard of him until last week, and he just got on my radar. And I'm proud to know of sleepers like this. So if he's playing, guys, might be a cool sleeper pick. Good matchup. And cheap, 3,400. Who else? We have Deshaun Hamilton. Minimum price, 3,000. Should be replacing Emmanuel Sanders. And he'll be getting some run. I believe this guy's a rookie. He hasn't really done much. Look, 2 targets week 12, 0 targets week 13. Yeah, so he's averaging like 1 target a game the last few weeks. Purely a punt, but hey, let's see what's up. Moving on to tight ends. My favorite tight end, mainly in GPP formats, is Cameron Brate. And the one reason I do like him the most is next to the Saints, it says they're first against defending the tight end. They allow the fewest points to the tight end position. It will scare a lot of people from picking Brate. Also, he didn't have a good game last week. Only 6 fantasy points. That will get people off of Brate. So with those two combined, we have ourselves a cheap contrarian player. And why not he do well? There's no O.J. Howard. There's no Deshaun Jackson. So there's a lot less receivers. Cameron Brate is a good tight end. Winston will need to throw the ball. He needs to throw the ball every game. I like him, man. Now, there are good tight ends. There are better tight ends. Don't get me wrong. And that's more for GPP. If you want an elite tight end, feel free to go with Kelsey or Ertz or Ebron or Kittle. And if you want a cheaper option, feel free to go with Hooper and Njoku, who has a good matchup going against the Panthers. Or Evan Ingram, who's back, going to be slept on a bit. 3,700 going against Washington. He's really going to be slept on, like, because he hasn't played a lot. But, I mean, he should do okay. That's a super cheap price. But, hey, Brate's even cheaper than that at 3,500. Not cheap enough for you? Well, we have Chris Herndon, 3,000 going against the Bills. This guy's been getting a lot of run. Look at this, guys. 6 targets, 8 targets, 4 targets, 4 targets, 2 targets, 7 targets. He's been doing very well in a land of no tight ends. And Greg Olson's hurt again. There really aren't that many tight ends. Speaking of Greg Olson, we have Ian Thomas, who actually had a little bit more time to get some rapport with Cam Newton because Greg Olson missed so many games. This should be interesting. I don't know. Flyer, punt, whatever you want to call it. Throw a dart. Ian Thomas, 2,700. I guess if you're really confident, you really like your other players, you're spending up on running back, spending up on wide receiver, then you have a cheaper option here. Ian Thomas, 2,700. Moving on to defenses. My favorite defenses, and I think the Steelers are more expensive on FanDuel, but the Chargers, They're my number one favorite defense. I also like the Steelers because they're 500 cheaper. Both are incredible. I just have a really good feeling about the Chargers D going against the Bengals. They'll do very well. And my third most favorite defense is the Giants D because of the price, $2,500, and also because they're playing Mark Sanchez. Washington is so banged up too. I just want to give you guys a couple more options. Broncos going against my 49ers should be good. Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, fire him up. I like him. Also, Bills D, a little bit too expensive though, $3,200, playing the Jets. And lastly, my Niners defense, which I have no confidence in, but that's my only punt. I'd probably rather go with the Giants D at $400 more, but just want to give you guys some more options. 49ers D priced at $2,200 going against the Broncos. Broncos should win this game, but it could be a low-scoring game. Also, the Niners will probably keep it close. Phillip Lindsay's great, okay, but no Emmanuel Sanders, no Demaryius Thomas, and Case Keenum has never lit it up. Not one game this year. He lit it up a few times on the Vikings last year. He did quite well. But this year, he hasn't done anything. He's been more of a game manager. Not anything wrong against him. Like, I'm not saying Case Keenum sucks. Well, he's not good. I'll put it like that. But the Broncos haven't put up a ton of points. So as far as a punt, as far as a contrarian pick, this is pretty good. Don't do it in a cash game, though. Don't pick the Niners D in cash. Our winners from last week, you guys all won a t-shirt. That's Jacob, Carl, Shaw, Marcellus, and Webb Fiji. The 5 of you won a Fantasy Couch t-shirt. Any t-shirt of your choice, just go to fantasycouch.com/store. Let me know which shirt you want. My favorite is the Waivers and Chill, the red one. You get the commish shirt, Fantasy Couch shirt, you know, whatever, Ask the Brain shirt. And another announcement, guys. On December 10th, that's Monday, we will be getting rid of all the Fabs merch. So any designs with Fabs and any designs with the Fantasy Couch logo, we will be taking those down. So it's your last chance if you want to buy it. Again, go to fantasycouch.com/store. You get a hoodie, shirt, mug. What else we got here? Rings, trophies, and of course the belt. Every real league needs a fantasy football championship belt. High quality, amazing belt. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. This is a couch icon over here. And also our second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. You have to subscribe to that one as well. It's a must subscribe. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if you didn't. And I wish you guys all good luck this week in DFS and season long.